Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. All right, everyone, welcome. Welcome to week one of Go Get Your Goals, a 90-day sprint to get from where you are to where you want to be. There is still time. We're mid-September, and I just wanted to come on today and for the next 90 days every week and give you some tools, some resources, some motivation, inspiration to get from where you are to where you want to be. Again, I'm running my full 6-month Thinking into Results program. I've decided that I'm going to gift it in kind of a hybrid 3-month view. So if it is something you're interested, just know that you can definitely do the full 6 months. If you're inclined and want to do some one-on-one coaching, I do have spots available for that as well. And this is a pay if you want, when you want, whatever you want. So again, I'm just coming and showing up here and giving value. So I'm just so excited you're here again, whether you're listening on YouTube, on the podcast, or you're here live. Thank you so much. And we'll get right into it here. So on Go Get Your Goals. Think about when we were back in January and maybe what you set for a goal. Really look at where you are versus where you intended to be. And I know that change in the world is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. So again, I commend you for showing up here today, wanting to do better, learn more, sprint to the end. So definitely, if you think about it, if you were to go out and walk on the street and ask 100 people what their goal is, how many do you think would have a goal? It's not that many. It's not as many as you think, because you're here. I imagine that you're thinking about goals or you've thought about goals. So you may be in that mindset, but many people are not. And if they do have a goal, it's not written down. And the power of pen to paper is so very powerful, not only to set the intention and the goal, but to get into your subconscious a lot quicker, which we will get into all of that throughout the next 90 days together. But going to the next screen, what I always start with, and I definitely, one of the first things that I learned when I hired my first coach, Bob Proctor, was gratitude. And I'd heard of gratitude and I'd never practiced gratitude. So I encourage you to look around. And regardless of is you're exactly where you want to be, or you're ahead of your goal, or maybe you're not meeting your goal, or you're in a tough spot, just know that finding good in every situation will help your energy and your vibration raise, so that you're coming from a different place. So I think gratitude, at least for me, it definitely was a game changer. It changed everything for me when I could finally look at any situation and find the good or find what to be grateful for. So I encourage you, if you don't already, start your day with gratitude, whether you are laying in bed and you're just thinking about what you're grateful for, or you journal about it or write it down, or maybe you do some type of positive affirmations around gratitude out loud. Whatever that looks like for you, just make sure to set some intention around being grateful, because I do know one thing: you can't be grateful and in gratitude and mad and angry or frustrated or sad at the same time. So it is an instant level up in your energy. So definitely take that hack right away out of the gate for sure. And then appreciation. This was another thing that I always just open up with. Many of you may have already heard some of my stories. I have a few of them where appreciation and gratitude really has played a big role. So appreciation, along with gratitude, is finding what you do like about a situation, what you do appreciate. Maybe for me, it was a co-parenting situation that was just not very good. Maybe you have an ex where you're co-parenting, or maybe you have a business partner or a relative or a friend or a significant other or child or somewhere in your life where the relationship's just really, really strained. Maybe it's distant or it's just not been very good. So what changed everything for me and the appreciation part of it is to go ahead and write down 25 things that you appreciate about that person. And when I first got this assignment from Bob, I was just like, no way, no how, not going to happen. I was so committed to being a victim, and I was so committed to it being bad and it being, how could she? No way, she's evil, this, that, and all the other stuff, and all these things that I had conjured up in the place and energy I was coming from. I had to decide that I was going to take 100% responsibility for the results in my life and for where I was at in every relationship. And I did do this exercise. I got through it and everything changed for the relationship, because if you can focus on what you appreciate about in a relationship or someone in your life that maybe it's not going well, it will shift everything. And Bob says to do that, to send love every day to 3 people that you're not in maybe good standings with right now, or they're frustrating you, or whatever it would be. Because that it's really not much to do with them. It's more to do with you in raising your energy. You see, when you're mad at someone and you're not forgiving them or you're wishing ill on them, you're really just poisoning yourself. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You're only hurting yourself. So I always like to start these type of trainings with just kind of that mindset and that frame of gratitude and appreciation, taking 100% responsibility for your results, because where your results are, whether it's in your business, your relationships, your bank account, is a direct reflection and a direct result of your past thinking and behavior. So the good news is you're here today, or you're listening to this, you can start today, and the tomorrow in your future will look a whole lot different, because today, the reality is it's just past that's showing up today. So you get to write anew, which we'll get into all of that as well. I just get ahead of myself all the time because I love this information so much and I'm so passionate about it. But I promise we will bring it all full circle throughout these next 90-day sprints together for sure. So next, think about that. Now, do you have a goal? And if you do, is your goal written down? How often do you think about your goal? And is it worthy of you? Which this is something that this is going to be a lot of what we talk about today. Now, first and foremost, think about this right now. We're going to set a 90-day goal. We're going to sprint to this goal. Now, when you set a goal at the beginning of the year, you're like, yeah, I want to get in shape, or I want to lose weight, or I want to have this X amount of transactions or money in my bank account, or, this relationship, or calling my soulmate, or whatever it is. A lot of what we set in the intentions at the beginning of the year are not very specific, or maybe we don't have a plan around it. So it's more vague and just kind of like putting it out there and sitting back and hoping kind of thing. Well, what I want to do is I want to bring that in and really focus on showing up every day with intention. We're going to work on habits. We're going to work on the power of 5, that I learned from my coach as well, and really go after the 90-day sprint goal. So what would it look like as if I'm going to have $10,000 in my savings account? I'm going to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 100 pounds, and my body mass, my weight index or my fat index is going to go down to this, my BMI, whatever that is. I mean, think about how specific you can get. And that's what I want you to do for these next 90 days. I want you to pick your goal and I want it to be specific. Now, here's the thing, and I'll get into the different goals and what I want it to look like, because if you know how to get it, then it's not big enough. So think about what you want to do and where you want to be towards the end of this year. And what we're going to focus on in the next 90 days is that. Now, I don't want you to have 5 goals. I don't want you to have 3 goals. I don't even want you to have 2 goals. I want you to have one goal that you will be ultra hyper focused on. And all of your decisions will come from that goal already achieved. So what you're going to find is when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something. You're going to have to test yourself on that. And you're going to have to get really comfortable being uncomfortable, because that is where the growth changes and happens. Because if you stay where you're at, and so many people stay where they're at, even if they're not getting the results they want, because at least it's familiar and at least they know what to expect. Well, we're going to talk about that. But what I want you to do is I want you to pick a goal that excites you and scares you all at the same time, because you don't know how it's going to happen. You shouldn't know how it's going to happen. The how will take care of itself. What your role is you want it and you desire it. And it's big enough and it's going to inspire you enough that every day you will wake up and recommit to it. Again, 90-day sprint. I believe you can do it. I know I can, and we're going to do it together. So I'm so excited for it. So going on to the goal, think about this as you're setting your 90-day sprint goal. An average goal is something you've achieved before. So I know I have a lot of realtors, because I am one in my sphere, that are probably watching this replay or here today. So if you've already, we'll say transactions, I'm going to sell 15 transactions, whatever it would be, and you already sell 5 transactions a month, then that's not a really good 90-day sprint goal, because you've already done it. So that's an average goal. Same thing, a good goal is if you went from, let's say, 15 to 17, you probably can figure out how to sell an extra 2 houses. So that's not really a good, that's a good goal. It's not going to change a whole lot or change you. Because what I want you to do is I want you to pick an exceptional goal where you're not sure how it's going to happen. You, again, just want or desire it. And why it's an exceptional goal. And what I want you to really understand, think about, is that once you achieve this goal, it's the side effect. It's actually who you need to become in the process. That's the win. The goal is just the bonus or the cherry on top, but it's what you need to do, what habits you need to start doing, stop doing, or continue doing, what part of you need to leave behind, because I'm sure you've heard this before if you've followed me for any amount of time. I can promise you one thing and one thing only. You will not get to your goal, if it's an exceptional goal, from who you are today. So you have to decide what part of you are you going to leave behind, whether it's, self-image, confidence, bad habits, caring too much what other people think about. And again, we'll focus on a lot of these things and all of them throughout the weeks to come. But just be aware that, and the exceptional goal will stretch you. And if it's not stretching you, then it's probably not a big enough goal or worthy enough of you. So, think about that. And how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you are today? So take inventory and really look at where you are today. Open your calendar, or just take an inventory. I know a lot of my elite coaching clients, I have them write out, every hour, what did you just do for the last hour? And I'll have them do that for up to a week, because then they can really see where they're wasting a lot of time. So I want you to think about that. How are you utilizing your time in your day? Because time is one thing that we all get the same amount of, You can't buy more. So it's very, very important what you're doing with the time you do have. And think about it. Where are you wasting time? Where are you maybe scrolling on social media because you're trying to avoid the thing you should do? Or you're taking maybe a coffee date when you should be making calls or going out here or, cleaning your house, just to avoid what you should be doing. Again, it's the intention that we're going to want to set every day and the strategies that we'll talk about to get you to really have a different perspective and a different awareness around goal setting over this next 90 days, what it looks like and how you need to show up, because you cannot show up the way you are continuing to show up, especially if your results right now are not what you want. The results you have right now are because of actions you took or didn't take. And we take actions or we don't take actions because of how we feel. And we feel a certain way because of our thoughts. And we think a certain way because of our beliefs. So it's really going back and testing yourself, testing your beliefs. And that's where we'll get into the subconscious and the conscious mind, because a lot of where you're showing up right now and how you're making decisions, what your beliefs are, they're not even your own. They were put there by people in your early childhood that raised you, that got those beliefs from generations, many, many, many moons ago. So this is really going to up your awareness. If you're not understanding this, or if you haven't followed myself or Bob or any of this amazing information that absolutely transformed my life, just get ready, because it's going to be a really fun ride together. So yes, you need to detach from your current results, focus on this new goal, this exceptional goal that you're setting, and act as if you already are that person. So every morning when you wake up and you set your intention, what does the morning routine look like of that version of you? Forget about your results today. Forget about how you're showing up today. I want you to know, again, because you're going to have to leave a lot of who you are today behind, create new beliefs, create new habits, remove a lot of this gunk that's in your subconscious and replace it through repetition with what will serve you. And think about what that version of you, what does she or he look like once the goal is received and once you've achieved it? Who do you need to become? And start making decisions from that place. Start showing up as if it's done, and you'll watch very quickly how things will start to unfold. It is amazing. And I can't wait to hear the stories, especially if you've never done this before. You'll even have quantum leaps quicker and quicker in the beginning. It happens all the time. So think about this, where you're at today. Now we are all energy. We're 100% energy, and energy is moving, into form, through form, out of form. It's not created. Nothing's created or destroyed. It all just is. Science and theology has told us that. So what your role is and my role is to raise your consciousness, and that's it. And that's really understanding that right now you're at a certain vibration or energy level, and that's where your energy is going out, and that's what you're getting back. And that's what, it's just a circle of in and out, and that's where your results are. So that's where if you detach from the lower energy and go up to the higher energy of where your goal is in 90 days, and start coming up and feeling it as if it's already here and done. And what would it feel like if that money was in your bank account? What would it feel like if you called in your soulmate? What would it feel like if you had the ultimate health, or you repaired that relationship? And you start connecting to that energy on that frequency as often as you can throughout the day. And it's through the repetition of getting out from this lower energy, or the first block, and going up to the star and really just thinking about it. And I have these visuals just because I'm a visual, and I'm hoping that will help. I know in my training with Bob Proctor, he had lines of frequencies. and the vibration, they're all connected. So we're all connected. We're all energy, 100%. And it's just moving through the frequencies by raising your energy. So think about that. Think about what that looks like for you, because it's a game changer, and it's through the vibration of raising your energy and going on to a different frequency that the people, the opportunities, the money, the clients, all of that will be put in place and it will be shown to you. Again, the exceptional goal, you don't know how it's going to happen. You just have the want and the desire that you want it to happen. You desire it to happen. And every day you're going to work towards it. And you'll be astonished of what will be shown to you along the way if you commit to this process for the next 90 days. So standards is a big part of this, and we'll go through all of these at a very much more in depth. But think about the standard you have right now, the standard for how you let the people around you treat you, the standard for how you maybe let your clients treat you, the standard for what you let in your environment. Environment is so very important. Are you, letting naysayers in, or political stuff, or news stuff, or are you scrolling on Facebook and it's just lowering your energy? Because I know right now I'm trying to stay off the app because it's difficult. It's a lot of hate and a lot of energy sucking going on. Is it a family member? Maybe that's really negative. I know it's kind of like, if you're not getting along, or if you have bigger goals, a lot of times it's more or less, talk to me about them, or talk to like-minded people that are going after the same things you are. Because if you talk to your family or talk to people that know you or know the version of you today or your past version, they're going to keep speaking that over you. So a lot of the times, just show them. You don't have to tell them what you're going to do. Show them through your actions and what you do. And you set a new standard of how you're going to show up from that goal achieved. And the thing that so many of us do is we set our standard, and then, oh, well, I didn't get much sleep last night, or I have a headache, or my kids cut me up all night, or I just lost this deal. And you let this standard drop, and then you keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. So what you want to do is you want to set a standard and come from a neutral place where you want to start really looking at responding versus reacting. That is another thing I learned early on, which we'll dive more into. I reacted to everything. Now, what you'll want to start focusing on and looking at is your triggers are when you're reacting versus responding. And look at responding more and coming from curiosity, coming from a neutral place, and not just blowing up. Or going up and down with the standards that you set and how you're going to show up and what you're willing to do or not willing to do. We are just so quick to drop our standards and let all the excuses of why we did or why we should or why we could. And that's where 90% of people are. See, the truth is, to get to the top 1 to 3 to 5 to 10% of the population, it doesn't take a whole lot. You just have to be aware and show up consistently, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of your current results, regardless of what's going on and all the noise around you, and do it. Do it anyways. Do it scared. Do it knowing you might fail, and you probably will fail. And failure is just feedback. If you aren't failing, if you're not getting feedback, then you don't have an excellent goal either. It's kind of like a rocket going to the moon. It's failing on off course most of the time and correcting all along the way. It gets to the end goal, but it fails its way there. I always say the only time you ever truly fail is if you stop or you never start. Everything else is feedback. So just go for that and take the feedback, knowing that if you wait for perfection, you'll be waiting forever, because you will always have an excuse of, well, I'm going to wait till the kids are out of school, or I'm going to wait till I have this in my bank account, or I'm going to wait till I take that course, I'm going to wait till I get this certification. It's all just excuses. So it's really just going for it and figuring it out along the way, especially if your intuition is screaming out for you to do so. And philosophy, what is your philosophy on life? How do you decide and show up in all areas of your life? Do you have a philosophy that things are hard? Money's, a lot of people have money issues and think money's evil, or if people have a lot of money, they cheated someone else to get there. And again, all these philosophies and all these things that we think or we believe or we have beliefs around are mostly all learned from other people. So think about that. Think about your standards. Think about your philosophy of life and of what you believe to be true and why and where it even came from, and start questioning that. Start questioning, is this true? Is this mine? Because the beautiful part about all of this is you have a choice and you can choose different today. You can switch your philosophy. I didn't find any of this information until I was 40 years old. Literally at 40 years old, a whole new universe was open up to me. I didn't know I had a choice. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know about higher faculties versus five senses, which we'll get into. I didn't know about standards or philosophy or paradigms or subconscious and conscious. I didn't know about any of that. And it's all amazing. Once you really get to know yourself and understand yourself, where you can take yourself. So again, I commend you for being here and doing the work, because most people won't. 85 to 90% of people don't even think. They just get up and go through their day just to get through to the end. And they're not even thinking about what they're doing, what they could be doing. It's just they do it because that's what you do. That's what they were told were supposed to do. And it's so beautiful when you realize that it's not that way. And if you're hearing this for the first time, I don't blame you if you're like, what is this? Because that's how I was in the beginning. I didn't understand a lot of this. For me personally, I had to hit a rock bottom in order to receive this, because I thought I knew it all. I thought I had life figured out. I figured this, that, ego, huge ego. I don't need any coach. I don't need any help. But man, was I wrong. And my purpose and passion found me at age 40. And I'm so grateful that it did, because now I get to come and share this with you all. So think about this. Think about this as you're setting your goal and as you're setting up your day. So I want to think about bookending your day. So when you get up, start with gratitude. Once you get this goal, think about how you want to set the intention for the day. What 2 to 3 to 5 activities do you need to do today that's going to get you closer to that 90-day goal? And if you aren't clear on your goal, or if you don't have a goal, or if you're not even knowing where to begin, sit down and just start writing of what you would love your life to look like. If you could have the perfect life and you could write out the story or write out the movie script today, and you could get it with nothing off limits, what would that look like? And just start writing and just start giving yourself the space and the time for your intuition to speak and for you to just really get to know yourself better. If most people, again, they don't have a goal. And if they do, it's kind of a half-ass goal and it's not written down and there's no intention around it. So of course you're not getting the results. Of course, most people aren't. So it is simple, not easy, because you have to show up every day and make the irrevocable committed decision that this is what you're doing no matter what. You're setting your standard, you're going with your intention, and nothing's going to knock you down. Nothing's going to knock you out of balance. And if it does, because it will, you get right back on right away. If you drop your standard, you bring it back up as soon as you recognize it. And sometimes it will take you 2 hours. Sometimes people will go 2 days or 2 weeks and all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. And that's okay. Just when you realize that you're out of balance or that your standard's gone or that you forgot everything, go back and rewatch these trainings, rewatch this, and know that that's going to happen. But the goal is to get that so it happens less often, less often, less often. And the more you repeat this and the more you flex that muscle, the subconscious will accept it. Because if you keep impressing upon it, it will accept it. It has no other way, which again, we will get into all of that. So climb the mountain. Really decide what you want and ask yourself, am I able and am I willing? So if anyone's done what you intend to do, then there's absolutely no reason why you can't as well. You're your only problem and your only solution. So as you're setting this 90-day sprint goal, those are 2 questions to ask yourself. Am I able to do this? And am I willing? And what I've all talked about, there's a willingness, there's an intention that you'll need to do in order to get from where you are to where you want to go. So as you're thinking and writing that out, ask yourself those 2 questions. 5 non-negotiables in this process over the next 90 days. You make the decision, you set the goal. The goal's set. You're a little terrified. I'm not sure how this is going to happen, and that's good. So once you make that decision, what disciplines do you need to put in place? Even if it's one, what one thing can you do that will get you 1% better every day or move you closer to your goal? What do you need to stop doing? That's even more important. We have so many things that we just habitually do and beliefs we have that aren't even our own that keep us stuck right where we are. So what disciplines do you need to start doing? What do you need to let go of? And we've talked about standard. What's your new standard going to be? You set it. Follow people that are doing what you intend to do. Watch them on YouTube. If they have a podcast, if they're in your community, call them. See, the truth is that the people at the top, they love to help other people. That's that whole saying, it's lonely at the top. A lot of people won't reach out because of fear of rejection, or they would never talk to me, or they'd never help. And if it's not anyone you know, Google your goal. Who's done this? Find YouTube videos. The thing and the truth is it's never been easier to succeed. There's so many free resources. There's so many videos. There's so many people that are putting content out there that I can only imagine has to do with your goal and will at least get you thinking differently in a different perspective or from a different awareness, because you're not going to get your goal from your awareness today. So find people that have done what you intend to do and follow them. See what they're doing. What are their disciplines? What does their morning routine look like? If you can get in front of them, email them, call them, text them, whatever, show up at their door, whatever it can be. But do it, and do it scared, and do it with maybe getting rejected. Who knows? But a lot of these resources you can find on your own and start shifting that awareness and perspective for sure. And self-image, this is probably one of the biggest ones, because the truth is you will never outperform your self-image. So your results today are a direct reflection of what's going on the inside. How you feel about yourself, what you think you're worthy of, how you think other people perceive you, which again, it's none of your business, but we all do it. So it's really being aware and conscious of your self-image. And write that out. Write what you want your self-image to be. Where do you want to strengthen? What do you want to leave behind? and start getting very, very clear on that, and know that you will need to up your self-image 100%. Like I said, you're not going to get your goal from who you are today and what self-image you carry and hold of yourself. Your results today are a direct reflection of your self-image. So that's going to level up. And your attitude, and that's your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So you think something, you feel something, you do something. Your attitude is really how you perceive the world. And a lot of where your mindset comes from, the word mindset's thrown around so much. And if you ask like 100 people what mindset is, you're never going to get the same answer. And the mindset is really how you view the world. You know, what you've learned. And the beautiful part is you can unlearn the things that no longer serve you and replace them with what will serve you and get you to your goal. It's so amazing. In your daily routine, again, how do you start your day and how do you end your day? So start your day with the intention, focus on your goal, focus on what you're going to do today to get you closer to your goal. What are you not going to do? And then at the end of the day, do inventory. Where did I show up and kill it? Like I was on fire. I did what I said I was going to do, and I may not have got the result, but it's coming because I did it. I raised my self-image because I cut my promises to myself, and that's where your energy will raise and the universe will answer you. Where could I have showed up differently? Where did I get off track? And how am I going to correct that for tomorrow? And then go to sleep thinking about your goal. Hand it over to your subconscious, because the truth is your subconscious never stops working. 365 days, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, it is moving. Everything in your system is moving that you're not even aware of, including your subconscious. So give it over and it will find solutions, and it will still be working while you're sleeping. So it's just such an amazing thing. And if you haven't done it before, again, this is going to be a learning curve and experience. So also be giving yourself some grace, but bookend your days. Absolutely. Dream big. I'm telling you, the bigger you can dream and write out what you want your world to look like, what you want your life to look like, what you want, dream it. Because if you put it out there, it's out there. And if you focus on it, and if you do all the things you're going to learn over these weeks to come, it's the law of a universe. It will come and it will happen. You have to do the work and set the goal, the exceptional goal, not a good or average goal, an exceptional goal, and start taking action. So you can't just set the goal and set back and think that the law of attraction or whatnot, it's just going to bring it to you while you're sitting on your couch. That's not how this works. The law of attraction is actually a secondary law. The vibration that I talked about, that's the primary law, where you have your energy and your vibration, and what you're putting out is what you're getting back. So start taking action and start not taking action. Leave some of that stuff behind that you no longer can use, or it doesn't serve you, and it's not going to move you towards your goal. And this is where you focus in and you focus on what will. That's why I'm calling this a 90-day sprint, because we're going to sprint for the next 90 days and be very clear cut and very intentional and get results. As I said, this is for anyone. So whether you're on YouTube or you're listening to this on the podcast or you're here live, it's a pay what you want, when you want, if you want. I'm showing up and giving value. If you're listening to this and you do want to contribute to this cause and to all of the information that I'm giving and be accountable, I can send you an invoice at angiegerber@gmail.com, or if you're seeing it on the screen, feel free to Venmo me, whatever works, or just show up. I want to give. You will never outgive a giver. So that's my goal, is to give this, get you from where you are to where you want to be. And as I said, if you want to go through the long program, and if you want to really focus in on this and continue to go after these 90 days, dive in deeper to this information or join my elite one-on-one coaching or group coaching, feel free to reach out. As you know, and probably tell I'm really passionate about this. It's absolutely changed my whole life, and I know it can change yours as well. So to wrap up, practice gratitude and appreciation, set the right exceptional goal, figure out what you need to become and who you need to unbecome in order to get that goal. And what non-negotiable or action are you going to start today? Start now. Don't wait till later. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait, oh, I'll start Monday. Like, do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. And every day, your goal is to get 1% better at a minimum. Never cap your goals, say or better, this or more. What I can tell you is that if your goal is to get 1% better every day and you put intention behind that, you will need a telescope to look back and to see who you are today, 90 days from now, 6 months from now, especially a year from now. It's all about choices. You have the choice. Your daily routine, knowing, give yourself grace when you fall. It's not failing, it's feedback. Recalibrate and go at it again. Keep going, keep going. Don't stop and bookend your day. Set your intention. I don't care if you have to put Post-it notes all over the house, set an alarm on your phone so it goes off every hour or 3 hours and reminds you to check in. Oh, nope, my old paradigms and my old beliefs snuck back in. I'm resetting right now. Boom. Figure it out, figure out a way. And if you need tools or resources or want to share, again, angiegerber@gmail.com. I'd love to connect and talk and help in any way while we're going through this process together. Because you can get there. You absolutely can do this. I know, because if I can do it and I've done what I've done by just following this process, I know you can. There's absolutely no reason that you can't. So thank you for being here. Again, reach out if you need anything at all, and we'll get there together. It's a 90-day sprint. Go get your goals because you deserve it. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.